Welcome to Southern Africa Direct, gateway to the undiscovered. To the undiscovered!
The Zulu people call Maputaland Umhlaba Yalingana, which literally means the earth which is flat. And a more appropriate description would be difficult to find. From the Lubombo Mountains in the west, the vast coastal plain of Maputaland spreads out in a flat carpet of bush to the distant blue of the Indian Ocean. This unique region is the transition zone between the tropics and the subtropical KwaZulu-Natal and has 21 different ecosystems. During the Cretaceous period, 60 million years ago, most of Maputaland was beneath the sea, which accounts for the salty, sandy soil, which is full of shells. There's a heavy rainfall, and the area is very hot in summer, while mild and warm in winter. The vegetation of Maputaland is so magnificent that it resembles the collections of tropical plants seen in botanical gardens. More than 200 species of trees grow here. As one nears the coast, the bush thins and palms are found. The rivers of Maputaland, like the Pongola and Usutu, have complex courses over the sandy flats. The slope of the land is almost imperceptible, so the rivers dawdle and meander, with the only incentive to flow being the pressure of more water from behind. When this pressure mounts during floods, the rivers spill over their low banks and water flows into adjacent lakes. These lakes are a valuable asset to the area. They're shallow, and the water is always warm and rich in nutrients. Barbel and tigerfish live in these lakes. Crocodiles feed on the fish and the occasional mammal. Hippos wallow in the waters and feed on the dense vegetation covering the surrounding land. Aquatic birds are abundant. At the northern end of the Pongola floodplain, on the border between KwaZulu-Natal and Mozambique, is the Ndumo Game Reserve. This pocket-sized version of the Okavango Delta is a very special place. In 1924, the Minister of Lands in South Africa at the time, Denise Reitz, gave instructions for the proclamation of a 10,000-hectare area of riverine forest country on the southern bank of the Usutu River to be set aside for a game sanctuary. Reitz had the foresight to realize that unless something was done to preserve the area as an animal sanctuary, little, if anything, would be left for future generations of the rich animal kingdom that once characterized Maputaland. The main feature of Ndumo Game Reserve is the series of floodplain pans which dominate the reserve. These pans, which are fed by the Usutu and Pongola rivers, are rich in nutrients and provide a habitat for large numbers of hippo, fish, crocodiles and birds. The major pans are Nyamiti, which at 4 kilometers long is the largest pan in the reserve, Banzi, which is adjacent to Nyamiti, Shokwe, near the Usutu River in the western part of the reserve, and Polwe, on the eastern bank of the Pongola River. The serene beauty of Ndumo's pans, fringed by startling green fever trees, must surely be one of Africa's most magnificent sights. Although only 10,000 hectares in extent, the Ndumo Game Reserve is remarkably rich in bird life. Some 395 bird species have been recorded, which is an impressive number when it's considered that the Kruger National Park, which is a little over 190 times larger than Ndumo, has only 47 species more. Some 83% of the bird species found in Maputaland have been recorded at Ndumo, and Maputaland, it should be noted, accounts for some 57% of southern Africa's total number of species. One of the reasons why Ndumo is so rich in bird life is because of the different habitats that exist within the reserve's boundaries. On the one hand, the pans offer a unique aquatic environment which attracts an abundant amount of water birds. On the other hand, beyond the pans, the wide variety of Ndumo's vegetation, from dry sand forest to riverine forest, and from reed beds to sandveld and other types of woodland, helps to create a diversity in habitat which suits a multitude of different birds. Another interesting and important feature of Ndumo is that it represents the southernmost boundary of many tropical bird species, which do not occur elsewhere in southern Africa. Besides hippo, which are to be found in all the major pans in the reserve, other large mammal species at Ndumo are impala, nyala, for which the area is renowned, southern reedbuck, red duiker, grey duiker, bushbuck, and suni, which is an endangered, rare, and very secretive antelope. Both black and white rhino have been reintroduced. Crocodiles are common in the pans, and it's been estimated from aerial counts that over 400 crocodiles over a metre in length are resident in the reserve. The long-term objective of the Ndumo Game Reserve is the continued protection of the area's integrity and wilderness atmosphere, while at the same time integrating it into the local economy. In essence, this means that the local community benefits from the reserve by receiving a percentage of all revenue earned by it. The sustainable utilization of natural resources contained in Ndumo by the local community is also encouraged.
Ndumo is well known for bird watching, so more guests they arrive here for bird watching, and these unique pans and landscapes and things that make Ndumo to be in a good position to be a game reserve here.
Ndumo Camp is currently the only accommodation offered in the reserve. The camp enjoys spectacular views across the Pongola River floodplain and nestles comfortably into the serene tropical landscape. There are 7 twin-bedded chalets as well as good camping facilities. All accommodation is self-catering. Ndumo Game Reserve is a link to unspoilt and ancient Africa, with its animals and especially its birds. There's a certain soul about Ndumo, and you can feel its peace embrace you when you sit quietly on the shores of one of its pans. This is a place where nature still holds sway, and life beats to the ancient rhythms of a timeless continent.